Hello viewers, I'm Dr. Nafis, fertility consultant at Avira Fertility Center, Secunderabad. Today let us discuss about importance of carrier screening in a couple who are planning a pregnancy. So, do you know that 8 million children are born worldwide with birth defects, and most of these children they are born to a healthy couple. So, why does this happen to the apparently healthy couple? For this, we need to understand a little bit about how our genes work and how our genetics work. So, basically, to understand, we all have 46 chromosomes and they're made up of multiple genes, and these genes are responsible for function of an organ. They all come in pairs. Suppose there is a couple, so each person has a pair of genes for every focus to every organ. Now, there are certain conditions known as autosomally recessive disorders. In this condition, the partners they will not express any disease, but the child can express the disease. Why is it so? Because there can be, suppose, a partner, a female partner, she is having a pair of genes, of which one gene can be normal and another can be abnormal. But because one gene is normal, she may not express the disease. And the same case with the husband also. But when these couple come together and they have a baby, then the baby can have two defective genes and this baby can actually express the defect. So this is how autosomal recessive disorders express the disease in the newborns. Now, for example, there are various diseases. The commonest of them is thalassemia, beta thalassemia. There is the couple can be apparently normal, but they might be carrying a defective gene, and when the baby is expressing the disease, that is because the gene which is responsible for the beta globin part of the hemoglobin is defective. So when two defective genes are coming together, the baby is expressing the disease. Such similar conditions, many of them exist. For example, there can be neurodegenerative disorders such as spinomuscular dystrophy. There can be various cases of even mental retardation. Autism also have to a large extent autosomal recessive component. Then even 70% of the hearing loss cases also fall under this category of autosomal recessive disorders. So for now it is clear that even though a couple appears normal, they can have a risk of having a child with genetic defect and they need to be screened. Now, who needs to be screened? Then, some candidates they require special focus. The main group they fall under is the consanguineous marriage group. That is when the couple is marrying in between their blood relatives. This is very common in South India, especially marrying the first cousin or marrying maternal aunt, maternal uncle. So, in these cases, the couples share almost 1/8 of their genetic material. Sharing 1/8 of genetic material also indicates sharing 1/8 of the defective genes. So there is very high chance that the child born to this couple can be affected with the genetic defects. So these couple can be screened for all these genes. They may not have all the defective genes, but we have to identify which gene is defective and what are the chances of the baby having this defective gene and a defective disease. Second group is whenever there is a family history of any particular disease, we need to screen the couple for the presence of a defective gene related to that disease in the couple before they plan the pregnancy. Now, so when should you screen? You have to screen whenever the couple is planning a pregnancy, before they actually plan the pregnancy, so that we identify what is the risk of the baby having the defective gene. Second thing is, these days are even going for premarital screening as well. And also, they can get screened in very early part of the pregnancy as well, so that they can identify whether they're actually carrying the baby with that risk. Now, so what if we identify these conditions beforehand? How does it help? Can we actually prevent another birth without a defective baby? Yes, because when we identify a couple carrying a particular defective gene, so we can offer them a prenatal diagnosis. That is, in the very early pregnancy, that is around 3rd month, we can offer them a chorionic villus sampling. Around 4-5 months, we can offer them amniocentesis procedure, where we take a particular part of the fetal cells and we examine them and we actually identify the baby the mother is carrying is actually having the defective gene, and then we can take a call on that pregnancy to prevent that birth defect which is not compatible with life. Second, in our case as a fertility expert, we and when we do cases of in vitro fertilization, we actually have embryos in hand that we are going to insert into the uterus of the lady before you actually achieve a pregnancy. So we can actually test these embryos and identify which embryos are not having the disease, and we can safely transfer only those embryos which do not have the defective gene. So this way we can actually prevent the births with the birth defect, and which are not compatible with the life, and we can avoid trauma to the parents. Then, can a couple who is not related at all, can they also go for the carrier screening? Because we all share, even though we are not blood related, we all share around 1 to 2% of our genetic material. So we also have a little chance of having a baby with birth defect, even though we are not blood relatives and we are apparently healthy. So this wise we can analyze our risk, and we can have a safer pregnancy. And most importantly, we as fertility experts, we work hand in glove with the genetic expert as well, so that the couple can take well-informed decisions after a thorough counseling, after a thorough genetic counseling, and understand the risks that their unborn child might have and how to prevent it. Thank you.